Hey everybody, welcome to What's Up Wednesday. This week I want to talk about a concept that I read about, but I think it's at the front of my mind because I've had multiple incidences just recently where I've heard about somebody passing away very suddenly who I knew or was close to somebody I know very well. And it kind of gets you thinking a little bit. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this because you've had loss. And the one thing about loss is loss can be devastating. And it's the only thing in life I think that's permanent is when they're gone, they're gone. Everything else can be changed. So, with that in mind, the article I read, it said, if I knew I was going to die in 10 years, what would I do today? And it got me thinking a little bit, about our lives. Our lives are usually very compartmentalized and planned out. We get up at a certain time, we have a certain routine, work takes up a certain portion of our day, we have the activities that, we participate in, a period of sleep, etc. And we tend to structure, our schedules and our days very, some of us more strict than others, but there's a routine to everything, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that if we realize that, our days were limited, and the reality is that our days are limited, each day we're here is one day closer to the end. And I hate to look at it that way because that's a morbid way to look at it, but it's absolutely true. What are the things that we should be doing now? And some people might say, hey, I always dreamed of skydiving, or I wanted to travel the world. And if I knew I was diagnosed with a terminal disease and I only have 12 months to live, I would pursue those things now. And the reality is we can't necessarily live life that way with the end in mind and kind of living an unsustainable life. Traveling the world for 9 months would be very, very expensive. And most of us would probably go bankrupt if we tried to do that. But, if that's a life goal, it's something that we should think about. And when I think about, some of the questions are asked, which big thing would you finally pursue? What fears might melt away if you knew that the end was near? What new fears would you have that you didn't have prior? What would you remove from your life? And who would you spend the most time with and why? These are questions that were raised in this article. So, when I think of it this way, the simplest way to probably break it all down is you can look at things very dramatically, like one way, one side or the other. But in reality, I think what really occurred to me is the simplicity of the fact that each day, and I've said this in the past, each day truly is a gift for each one of us. Just to be here is a gift. And as I mentioned last week, we're in the middle of Suicide Prevention Month. And not everybody looks at it that way. They don't want to wake up that next day. And that's something that we need to, influence people and make it worth them being here today and being here again tomorrow. But I think looking at the journey itself, day in and day out, our routine, the things we have to do, the things that we get to do, maybe doing something you love on the weekend and you work all week to get to that point, but enjoy that journey. Don't work and live your life for someday when you're going to retire, which might be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road. Plan for that time. That's the responsible thing to do. But I would encourage people to live today within reason, like there may not be a next year, 10 years from now, whatever it might be. Try to do the things that you want to do and live your life the way you want to live it now, and don't postpone it. Think of every day, like I said, as a gift. Enjoy the journey. Don't look at the milestones. Don't look at the finish line. And I think in a way, people who I admire who truly live their lives this way, they live in the moment. I kind of envy them a little bit at times, even though I know that's not me. I'm highly structured. I worry about what could be. Though that's just, those are my personal nuances and personality traits that aren't going to change. But as I do get older, I can tell you that I think a lot more about the things that I'm grateful for and all the wonderful things I've been blessed with. And I try to live my life more now every single day than 20 years ago when I was always focused on that finish line. So take that for what it's worth. Hopefully it helps a little bit, and we'll see you next Wednesday.